Hey everyone, and welcome back to OntarioCryptids. I hope everyone has been keeping warm this past week. It has been really cold here in TO, and recently I've decided to start walking each day around noon to get some cardio in. Part of my getting in shape for my New Year's resolution. So bundle up if you're affected by the winter season. Now, wow, I can't believe this is episode 95. If you're new to my channel, every 5th episode, I thank those who have commented regularly on my last 5 videos. So, a special shout out goes out to Bender, Chris Luman, Jean, and G Fox. Thank you so much for commenting on my last 5 videos. Now, Chris, he's commented on 19 to 20 episodes in the last 7 days. Thank you so much for that, Chris. And naturally, I want to thank all the recent subscribers and the rest of you who come back each week to watch these episodes. Thank you all so very much. So as you know, I'm always looking for great stories to be shared on this channel. So if you have a story that you would like to share in a safe environment, then forward your encounter stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. Okay, let's start sharing these 3 stories that I have for you guys today. Go grab yourself a beverage and get cozy in your favorite spot and sit back and relax. All right, the first story takes place September the 22nd, 2021. It takes place in Marion County, Texas, and the nearest town is Ore City. Now, I don't know what this is, but this seems to be a farm, wherever this closest location is. That whatever that is, it's planted because it looks too perfectly like the rows that I can see. Maybe, I don't know, apple trees, some sort of fruit trees maybe? Not sure. Weigh in and tell me what you think that is. But in any case, let's get started with the story. Before I get started, guys, I'm so sorry for the furnace. It keeps on going on and off, so I hope you guys don't hear it. But in any case, let's get started. So, I was driving home from taking my kids to school. The area is very wooded. Lots of wildlife, deer, wild pigs, and armadillos. I was driving on 450 and was slowing down to turn onto Old Avinger Road when I saw something move just behind the first line of trees on my right. It was tall and black, definitely not any of the previously mentioned animals. The deep black color is what made it stand out to me because although the area is wooded, it was sunny out, and the black color looked out of place with all the other shadows. Its size and color made it stick out. When I slowed to look even more, it ran into the wooded area fast, not on 4 legs. It was definitely upright and on 2 thick legs. I couldn't see its entire body. What I saw was at least 5 to 6 feet above the edge of the road, and the ground where it was standing is 2 to 3 feet lower than the road. It took me a minute to process what I saw and go through all of the wildlife possibilities, but based on the size, shape, and speed, I don't think it was any of the native wildlife we know of. This next one takes place on June 12th of 2021. It takes place in Lawrence County, Tennessee, and the nearest town is Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. My husband and I saw what we believed to be a Sasquatch on the night of June 12, 2021. We were driving home together with our daughter at approximately 9:30 p.m. when we turned onto our street. Mind you, we live in the deep countryside outside of Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. My husband turned the wheel slightly to turn onto our street, and there was an animal with fingers touching something on the ground, picking at it with its fingers. When the animal saw our headlights turning, it intentionally averted the headlights and ducked underneath them. It was only about 5 feet from the front of our vehicle at one point when we turned towards it. It was fully in the headlights. The animal bounded across the neighbor's yard. It did not run on 2 feet the way a human would. We thought the animal was a gorilla at first because of its movements, but it looked extremely human-like. It bounded with its front legs in the same way that a gorilla does, except its arms were so long and it moved unbelievably fast. Of course, we considered that it could have been a person dressed in a hairy costume, but it moved way too fast to be a person. It was definitely not a bear. It was more like a gorilla or person covered with hair. It was covered in a dark brown or black hair. The animal cleared our neighbor's 250 to 300 foot grass lawn in about 6 seconds, and then it disappeared from view. Our daughter, who is 4, did not see the animal as she was playing on her iPad. When we pulled up to our house a minute later, I was absolutely terrified to get out of the vehicle because we had no idea what we had seen, and because it was so fast that it could have turned around and been to our house in about 10 seconds. I got up the courage to run to my house door and unlock it, and we all ran inside. We were terrified. We both saw the animal. However, it was my husband who saw that it had fingers and that it was observing something on the ground. I did not see that part. I just saw the part where it started to run and when it cleared our neighbor's lawn. We had considered that maybe it was a bear, but it was too ape-like to have been a bear, and it was too fast and slim and did not run on all 4s of its legs exactly the way a bear would have. All right, so this is the last story of the day. This one takes place in October 2021. And as you can see, we are all the way in the UK for this last story, which takes place in a small town of Rochdale, which is right outside of the city of Manchester. I live alone, have done for about a year now, after breaking up with my ex. And it's been mostly great to have my own space in my own house where I am free to do whatever I want, whenever I want. That said, I spent most of my time in the evenings upstairs playing video games and watching YouTube videos. I don't really have a social life, but that's okay with me. I've never felt uneasy in my own house until about a month ago when I went into the kitchen at night to make a drink. Now, my kitchen is overlooked by my overgrown garden, which is in turn overlooked by some woods. It's a fairly rural neighborhood, and it is very quiet at night, which makes it a friendlier environment for some wildlife to come out. I'll often see foxes and deer, and I've been woken up at night by the scream of a fox at 4 a.m. once. And they like to hang around outside the front of my house because there's easy access from there to the back garden and then into the woods. My kitchen has this big window which looks right into the garden, but at nighttime when the lights are on, I can barely see more than a few feet ahead of the window as it acts sort of like a mirror. Well, on this particular night, the few feet ahead of me that I could see was all this thing needed to make itself visible to me. I hadn't noticed it until I looked up and out of the window after making my drink. It was a bipedal creature, skinny but very tall with hind legs, and had no hair. It sounds ridiculous to say this, but it looks similar to the werewolf Lupin transformed into the prisoner of Azkaban movie, only taller and more humanoid, and its mouth was tiny but protruded, similar to a canine's. It had no ears from what I could see. It just stayed there looking at me with these completely white, tiny eyes. Its head was tilted to the side and its bottom jaw was slightly open. I didn't even know how long it had been there. I was in the kitchen for about a minute before I even bothered to look out the window. I just froze. You think you can rationalize what you do in a situation like this, but I was frozen in terror. I was telling myself to move, but my body felt icy cold. I couldn't do anything. Eventually, after like 10 seconds, it felt much longer, I managed to move and ran out of the room, not daring to take my eyes off the creature. And as I did so, its head rotated to follow me as I left to the comforts of the upstairs, which was the creepiest thing about it. Since then, which was about a month ago, I have not gone into my kitchen at night, except for a few necessary occasions. I'm preparing everything I need before it gets dark, and then staying upstairs for the rest of the night. If I absolutely need to go into the kitchen, I'll rush in so that I can get out ASAP. You know that feeling you get when you turn all the lights off before you have to go back upstairs and feel like you're going to be chased upstairs by some unknown entity? That's the feeling I get when I need to go into my kitchen at night. All right, guys, there you have it. 3 fantastic stories, and which started, I should say, in the States and ended up in the UK. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think maybe 2 of them were Bigfoots. I'm not sure what that last one was, though. The first story, it sounds like the black creature was standing in a ditch, and by the estimates that were given, this thing would have been roughly between 7 to 9 feet tall. That's pretty tall. And the last one in the UK, it kind of sounds like a Dogman. And I think we had maybe one other story that was possibly a Dogman. I can't remember if it was a Dogman now or a Bigfoot. But in any case, I don't think we've heard of too many Dogman stories in the UK. But guys, weigh in. Let me know what your thoughts are on what cryptids these folks would have encountered. And let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, so if these stories reminded you of an encounter that you may have had and would like to share, then please forward your stories to OntarioCryptids@gmail.com. I would be more than honored to share your story on this channel. Thank you all for listening until the end. I truly appreciate it. Please hit that like button on your way out and smash that subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Now, before I let you guys go, this is NFL playoff weekend with the last 4 teams, and I know who I am voting for. Go Chiefs, go! All right, guys, have yourself a great weekend, and I hope to see you all next week right here on Ontario Cryptids.